Well, hello, and thank you for joining. I am Alice Keeler, joined by my very good friend, Marcia Carrillo. Marcia, how was your day today?
Hey, making it happen on Monday. You know it.
Oh, it is Monday. I just feel like all the days are blurring together. Feels like a Tuesday, I swear. I did a lot of lesson planning and grading today. So, Marcia, you've requested that we demonstrate audience participator. Now, if any of you out there have ever been to one of my presentations, you have seen me do this trick. I have a Google Slides, and then I have the audience fill out a Google form. Now, the reason that I do that is because I don't know. Oops, I think that there isn't a problem with the StreamYard. It says Facebook is having a problem. Why? Like a bunch of them are having, yes. All right, well, it's not going to Facebook then. Okay. Yay, live streaming. So if you ever see me present, I have this Google form that the audience fills out because I don't know who's in the audience. And even if you do know who's in your audience, so I even use this with my students for my classes that I teach because it can be easier. I just put the Google Slides into Google Classroom, and then I put the Google form also into Google Classroom, and then I just have them fill out the form throughout the lesson. It's the same form, so I can keep changing the question. I do it on the fly. It's just really convenient to be able to interact because, I don't want everyone raising their hand. I want to give them time to think. So when I use this Google form for them to participate instead of hand raising, they are able to all participate and all the responses come to my slides. And then we're able to use those to discuss what's going on. Or if I'm in a presentation like a keynote or a workshop, people can give me their thoughts, their ideas, and I can let everybody participate especially when you're in a large audience situation, it can be challenging. Now, Marcia, you pointed out that, basically conference season is coming up on us. There's a bunch of conferences. I just got confirmation I'm going to go to FETC today. So when you go to conferences, like obviously you're in a room with people that you don't necessarily know, and you want to be interactive. And so this is what we're going to show you today is how you can use Audience Participator to be interactive. So these are my slides. This is a Google Slides. And I'm going to click to the next slide. Audience Participator is the add-on. You are going to install it from the Google Marketplace. Now, I have created 21, and I'm working on some more. I have 21 add-ons. If you go to alicekeeler.com/coded by Alice, that is where you can install it. You can also, when you're in the Google Slides, go to the extensions menu, and it says add-ons, and you can choose get add-ons. Now I have add-ons for Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, Google Forms. So whenever you go to the add-ons menu in any of these products, you do get add-ons, you can literally just type in Alice Keeler. And so these are all of my slides add-ons. And it's important to note that none of them collect user data. So you would want to install the Audience Participator. So I have, like I said, 21 add-ons, and I would love it if you would install them and give me a 5-star review would be amazing. I would appreciate that. So you can see here on the Audience Participator, I have 75,000 installs. And what Audience Participator does is allows you to have a Google form that responds automatically with your Google Slides, and it's really easy to set up. Okay, Marcia, you ready?
I am ready. I tried it. I tried this once with a small group because I wasn't really quite sure what I was doing. And so that's one of the reasons I wanted Alice to go over this again, because I wasn't that confident that day.
Yeah.
And so I want to be confident.
The Google Slides in a new tab. Everyone out there who is watching the recording, if you'd like to start up a Google Slides and install, remember you can just go to the extensions menu and add-ons and just type in Alice Keeler. You're going to be able to find this add-on. So Marcia, why don't you fire up a Google Slides? Just do slides.new and put the slides back here. I should note that while most of my add-ons are free, this one is not. It's one of these ones I use to keep the lights on around here, sends my kids to college. So you would need to go to aliceco.com/membership and become a premium member. And this is something for premium members. So you would need to use the code that you get in the weekly premium newsletter. So we're just going to install it for Google Slides, and then you're going to install it, and then you're going to create a Google Slides, and it's in any of your Google Slides. So look at this. I'm going to just do slides.new and go to extensions, and you'll see it says Audience Participator by Alice Keeler. So it's just going to be in any Google Slides that you have. And I'm going to put an asterisk around the any because I love Slides Mania. But it won't really work so much with Slides Mania, only because I need to adjust the code for that because I do really love Slides Mania, but it looks specifically for a particular layout. And what Paula does from Slides Mania is she deletes all the layouts and redesigns them. So the named slide that I use, the named layout that I use in the code probably doesn't exist in the Slides Mania. So just be aware of that. If you're using a template that you got off the internet, if someone deleted some of the layouts, it may not work perfectly. Otherwise, it'll work with any Google Slides, which I think is really nice. And then we're going to use the extensions menu to set up the Google form. And then you just keep using the same Google form the entire time. So, if you're just working with your students, you're doing an audience conference presentation, you're going to give them the Google form. I like to make a short URL usually. You can go to bit.ly or tinyurl, or I have my own Google or URL shortener that I use. But they're just going to keep filling out the same Google form over and over again. So it makes it really convenient. And actually for this class that I'm teaching, I have an online class. I have the Google form in the slides. I just use the same Google form in the same slides every single week. So the slides have all the lessons back to the beginning of the semester, and I just keep adding more to the top. And then we just keep interacting using the same form. So I literally just reuse post when I do the Zoom class, although of course I use Google. Well, actually that class I am using Zoom. And then they just always are able to access and participate every week. It makes it really convenient. Okay, so let's do this. Let's show how it works. Okay, Marsha, you got your Google form up?
I do. I don't have a Google form up. I do
have slides.
I've got my slides up.
This is a slides add-on.
I've got my slides up, and I do have my audience participator ready to launch.
Cool. We're going to go to the extensions menu, audience participator, and you might want to just show sidebar. You'll notice it has an option for add member passcode. So Marsha, if you want to go over to your newsletter and get the passcode, I do change it every so often. You can just start by putting the passcode in. It should remember it. So I just did a new one, and it just said, hey, yeah, it's working. So hopefully that's the case. I'm going to show sidebar. So over here in the sidebar, I have the directions. So we already have our Google Slides. Obviously, we're using the audience participator since I was able to make the sidebar. And then you're just going to click create form. So what that's going to do, there we go. Guess I need to, let me put this back over here. I need to update my code, I see. It didn't ask me before when I said to add the, is this not working? No, it's working. It is working. I need to do a little updating. I am seeing, no problem. I'm going to fix that. Okay, so back to this. So in the sidebar, it says create form. I've now put in the passcode, which it prompted me to do, and I'm going to click create form. Uh-oh, is this not working? That is no bueno, Marsha. Is it working for you?
When I went to create the form, that's when
I got it.
That's when it.
I know what the problem was. I'll text it to you.
Okay. I think I know what it is too.
Yeah, I could have sworn that I fixed that, but apparently not. So I will fix that right away. Okay, yay being live. Okay, so I do have this up. So let's go ahead and check this out. So it did automatically create the Google form, which of course is in Google Drive because that is how that works. And it just opened up in a new tab if you have pop-ups enabled. Did you get the form to pop up?
Yes, I did. And I did need to enable pop-ups. So
Yeah,
that's a good thing to point out.
If you're looking up here up in the URL address bar, there might be like a little red no access letting you know that the pop-ups didn't go. So you would want to click on that. The form is in your Google Drive though, even if you don't have pop-ups enabled. So you go to extensions, audience participator, and since you've already created the form, you can just launch the form. Hopefully now that you have turned on.
Yep, mine launched right away. My form automatically launched.
Why does this think that I don't have permission for my own form? Okay. Well, here we go. This is what happens when you test things live. It should work. So what I've done is I've added a slide, and I like to use section header because it's going to read that title. Whatever you type on there, it's going to read that title. And you should be able to extensions. I'm going to go to audience participator, and it says push question, which I can do right from the menu or on when I do show sidebar and I push the question. It should, if I come over here, okay. I feel like I'm in Bizarro World right now. I use this all the time. Push the question. Okay. How about I set up the form? I'll just make a new form. Is it going to work? Okay. There's the form. And then audience participator, I'm going to push the question. There we go. How are you doing today? I was doing it right. I did the exact same thing the second time. That's just, Murphy's Law. Okay, so if I'm going to share this Google form, if anybody wants to fill it out. Just fill out that Google form. Let me put it here in the comments. I'm glad it's working on YouTube, Angela. Everything's feeling very glitchy today. I'm not sure why it didn't push to Facebook. That's very odd. Well, can't control that right now. So that is the Google form if anybody wants to fill it out. And what you should see is that when the form is filled out, so let me fill it out here. My answer is, everything is glitchy today. Things that normally works. My name, and I hit submit. You come back over to the slides, and you'll see that it has pushed to the slide. So as Alice Keeler, everything's glitchy today. Marcia says she's excited to be in this webinar. It's a grand day. Amy's doing awesome. I actually have it, the whole slides presentation I did publish to the web. So what I did right now is I refreshed. So I had people come in and participate. They filled out the form and I refreshed. And then you're going to see me able to have those slides right in my presentation. Pretty smooth. So I'm going to go ahead and come up to add another slide. And I'm going to choose section header. I'm going to choose section header. Now, Marcia, I'm going to get just a little bit fancy for you. I'm going to go to the view menu. I'm going to use theme builder because I would like to design this background. Browse. This one. I have designed in Canva a background so it would look a little niftier. So this one is my ask a question. layout. So you'll notice now this "How are you doing today" has that layout. And now I'm down here, I can ask another question. And I just come up to the extensions menu, audience participator, and I push the question. Same Google form, same Google form. I'm going to go to the eyeball. Not that form. That was the one that didn't work. So he says, have you used Google Slides before? I'm going to use the eyeball. So fill this out again. Looking back over here. So Marsha, maybe you could fill out the form a few times, because you'll see right here that after have you used Google Slides before, it says not me, no, never. Marsha, go ahead and fill out the form. It's the same form. Here it is. Same one. There you go. So have you ever used it before? And Marsha says, heck yes. So just by filling out the form, I'll show you again. I'm going to submit another response. I come over here, and there it is. It is Rainy Bob. You can see that it's right on there. So I can just keep doing this throughout. I can set it up in advance. I usually create this layout. I design this particular layout so it looks fancy. That's the view menu and theme builder. So I can get a fancy background on there, but you don't have to. You can type anything you want. It just needs to be in the title, not in just the regular text box. It has to be in the title, which is why I use this section header. And when I push it, I push the question. And fill out the form again. What's your favorite book? And you can see that it came right in down there. So every time that you want to do this, you just want to be looking at the slide and just come up to audience participator and choose push question. And it's going to update the Google form. So everyone, when they submit, like I'm on slide 18 right now, they are going to come in right after slide 18. So that's going to allow you to do this throughout the course of your presentation. I find if I do a 1 hour presentation with a medium to large size audience, I can really only do 3 questions. With a smaller group, I can do more. So March, are you getting it to work on yours?
I am still kind of messing with it. So I had a couple questions. I like that you told me that you push the question from the slides. And you need to, so are you typing the question on the slides and the form? Or
no. So if you look at the form right now,
yeah,
it still says what's your favorite book. So I just added this. I just typed this into the title text box.
okay.
And when I push it, I'm going to come back here. If I refresh, it's going to say, what is going on? Push the question. Okay, I have a lot of testing to do tonight because I use this all the time. There's some sort of a googly glitch today, but it should just push it over there. I just did it twice.
Yeah, so I guess the question I just want to clarify is once I create my Google form, I'm not typing the question in my Google form.
No, it pushes directly from the Google
Okay,
Slides.
that was where I originally had made my mistake. Is I'm adjusting the Google form, not the slide. So that cleared that up for me.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, once you've made the slide, you don't really need to touch it ever again. The form, excuse me, the form, you don't need to touch it again. Once you make the Google form, you don't need to touch it again because it's going to all update from Google Slides. It is a Google Slides add-on, so all your action is going to happen in Google Slides. So once you share the link out to the Google form, and in the Google form, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll click up here so I can show the QR code, which does not show because I'm showing the tab. But give the audience the QR code, give them the link to the form. Just tell keep reusing the form. It's going to be the same one.
And I got it to work. I mean, I just did that part, and now
it always works.
Now I'm going to fill in my answer. I asked what is your favorite tool? I asked that on that Yo Teach that I was sharing, and I actually learned about some new tools. So, okay, so once I filled out the form, now I just refresh my slides.
You don't have to refresh anything.
Oh, you don't?
Once you fill out the form, well, you need to refresh your slides if you're using Publish to the Web. So when you go to the File menu and you go to Share and choose Publish to the Web. So if I publish to the web, that link, let's put in a new tab. This is presentation view. So in that case, I would need to refresh.
Okay. So I did have success. I just want to let you know. I made a Google Slides.
I'm going to start from scratch because it's like seriously works all the time. I don't know what is going on.
Okay, yeah, let's start from scratch because I've got it now. And I'm going to start from scratch too.
And I am going to go to the extensions menu. I go to audience participator. I show the sidebar. I want to create the form, which it won't let me because I haven't put in the code yet.
It's letting me.
It just does. That's great. So I don't know why it was doing that to me before. Okay, so I have that on there. Then I'm going to add a slide that is section header. And whatever I type, I should be able to push the question. Or not. Push the question. Okay, Marcia, I'm going to need to do some coding debugging. As far as I know, this has been working and it's not working. So I'm going to need to play with this. It does work. I mean, I got it to work a couple times in a row. So there's some, I don't know if there's just, sometimes Google does some updates and it's beyond my control that stuff's not working and it'll just start working later. But I'm going to definitely see if there's any glitches on my end in the code.
I know that it seemed to like a little bit different when and it shouldn't be when I use the sidebar versus going on the top.
Yeah, shouldn't matter. So I'll double check that all of those match. And I'll get that.
But I love this as a person that's been at a workshop or a keynote. I know that everybody in the audience always wants to know, how do you do that? Because really, when you have I don't care if there's 50 people, but when you get to hear from 20 out of the 50 people and you see, if you want your name up there, you see your name up there, you see your answer up there, and it really makes everybody feels like they're part of the presentation. And I think it's one of the most special things that I've experienced in a keynote for sure. For sure.
Well, thanks, Marcia. I enjoy doing it. I love interacting with people, not just talking at them. So it's definitely a great tool. And I'm going to go figure out if there is, look up the bug logs, see if there's a reported bug, but it should be working. The gist of it is make a Google Slides and use the extensions menu to audience participator. It creates the form and automatically links the form to the slides. So you don't have to do any of that. So once you've created the form, you don't need to touch it again. You're just going to take the headline that's on your page and you're going to push that question, whatever slide that is, out to the form and keep updating it. People fill it out, it's going to come back to your slides. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you cleared a lot of things up for me. I was when I used it, I was making my own form.
Well, my original version, you made the form, you made the slides, and you had to connect them. Obviously, it's a lot of extra steps. So I did fix that, and I haven't done it that way in over a year. So I do know that it does work. I use it. So it should be a lot easier for you, Marcia. Google Slides only. You basically adjust your Google Slides.
You just adjust the Google Slides.
It's a lot easier. I was working the form, and then other than how you're going to share the form, you don't touch the form again.
Yeah. So what is your suggestion on how you share the form? That's where you use the QR code with a Google shortener or something?
It really depends on who my audience is. So when I'm doing with my students, I put it into Google Classroom, or if you're not using Google Classroom, I mean, how do you share a Google form with people that you know? I email them the Google form, I post it in Canvas or Schoology or whatever LMS that you're using. That one's the easiest. If you are with an audience who you don't know and you don't have a way of distributing, then you would do it any way that you would distribute a URL normally. So either being a QR code or a short URL.
Awesome.
Yeah. Evelyn says she has seen me use it. And Evelyn, I'm thinking that there's just my luck that Google is doing some updating right now. Always great. But it does work. And thanks for joining. Marcia, thanks for joining me for this. And I appreciate you asking. Maybe we can do it again after I've confirmed that the bug is no longer a problem.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Bye, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye, you guys.